All right. Hey everyone, it's Rachel here. So I'm putting this video together based on a comment I made earlier on a blog post that I wrote that drove over 70,000 organic visits in a course of 2.5 years to one of the websites that I work on. And that's actually what you're seeing right here in this screenshot from Google Analytics. So I was going to walk you through in this video how I did that and a way that you can utilize long form content or your blog to generate similar results for your business or blog. So this actual blog post that I wrote was for a office chairs site that I work on. And it's actually quite an anomaly in comparison to how other blog posts have performed. But this one is, as you can see, an example of something that's kind of an outlier, but it is possible to get fantastic results like this. As you can see, I mean, this is the highest trafficked page on the website. The best performing one so far in terms of traffic, organic traffic that is, over 70,000 visits. And as you can see here, it took a lot for actually to take on. So you wouldn't have really thought much of it when I was first doing research for it. It was more of I really liked the content that I was able to develop based off of our one of the merchandising management team members that wanted people to know, employees to know, if customers asked what's the difference between our real leather chairs, bonded leather chairs, and our vinyl and things like that. So the differences between real bonded and faux leather. I thought this was great information. She just shared it with the company, but I was like, this should be on the blog because I'm sure there people are searching it. And sure enough, as you can see here, I plugged in, for example, what is PU leather, which has 11,500 to 30K visits per month. And this is a tool called Moz that you can use, their keyword research tool. And right here, ranking number 1, if you look at the SERP, I wrote actually a spin-off of this blog post on the differences between the leathers. I just focused on this one on what is PU leather, and that's ranking number 1 right now. But I wanted to put that on the blog so people could understand the differences between it, because I thought it was great information that wasn't out there. So, and since I put it up there, I mean, as you can see, in 2016, I didn't capture all that. It was only a small part of 2016. You know, only under 1,000, maybe 500 at most visits per week. And then you can see over time, it really took a spike almost at the end of 2017, almost beginning of January. Then we almost started peaking at 1,000 visits a week, just about under that on average. But algorithm change, and I believe this has to do maybe with the Medic update, which, you know, you wouldn't think it really would do anything, but ever since about August, it really took off and almost doubled in visits. So as you can see that over the course of time, that's over 75,752 sessions on the website. And as part of this blog post, it is a little broad as in terms of keywords, but it does bring in some targeted traffic. You know, when you go a little bit broad, you have to be careful, you know, attacking keywords that may or may not be a little on topic. You know, when someone's searching leather, differences between real bonded and faux leather, they may not be looking like for just for chairs. It could be for like a jacket or a couch or something like that. But you know, we took a gamble on it because we wanted to get the information out there and just wanted to be helpful. But we also had some calls to actions highlighted in there that highlighted to request a sample for if you wanted to see the differences. You could get a sample on the real bonded or full leather. And right here is the blog post. And as you can see throughout, you have nice images, nice close-ups, request a leather, real genuine leather sample, talk about bonded leather, some nice close-ups, get a bonded leather sample, and then finally full leather, and you can request a full leather sample. And since then, we've generated over 292, and that's just organic traffic in the screenshot, but overall it was over 300, almost 350 swatch requests, which is sample requests for, as you can see here, the call to action here where they can click on and request a sample by entering their email and information so that we can send a sample out. And that's our best way to follow up with them and have somebody follow up with them actually to get more information and get somebody in sales talking to them. And so how did you get these kind of results? Again, you kind of got to do a little Q research. At the time, I was using a tool called Bright Edge, but not everybody has access to a tool like that. That's more of an enterprise tool, and I mean, you're spending thousands of dollars a month for that, but it's for more than just Q research. But there's plenty of other great tools, like you can see right here that I'm highlighting Moz. They have a tool called Keyword Explorer, and I actually really like their tool, and it's a pretty decent price point. I mean, Moz Pro subscription, you're only spending a couple $1,000s max a year, and if you get more than just the Q research tool, you get access to all the Moz Pro tools. But they've really been working well. This is one of my favorite keyword research tools so far. And as you can see, an example here is like, what is PU leather? Again, you can see the search volume, the difficulty is more of like the competition, organic click-through rate. I like this metric that they have called, what is it? When you explore more, you go to see all suggestions, and you can see like relevancy, and then they have like, you can display suggestions based on including a mix of sources or only specific words, or maybe you want broader ideas. So this might be a place to start, looking for broader ideas and then maybe narrowing down, or make your first initial blog post maybe a little broad, kind of like I did, on the differences between real bonded and full leather. And then start getting more narrow and spin-off, I call spin-off, but it's really just blog posts that kind of are subtopics of this blog post. So that search, what is PU leather? Instead of just focusing on the differences, I went more into like, okay, well, what is PU leather, which is like the bonded or faux leather. And then you could write, well, I wrote one, I think, on what is the top grade leather. So you kind of break it into subtopics. I even did blog posts more on like comparison, which is more of like people that are in the middle of funnel ready to convert. But so that's what you kind of do. You kind of just start thinking about what you want to talk about, and what I did, I leveraged some great information that wasn't out there publicly available that I thought would be great information for our customers. So that's something to think about, is what is the information that maybe you or other people in your organization or whatnot that have information that's extremely valuable that isn't being shared online, where they can access something like that. And as you can see, I mean, the results speak for themselves. It is fantastic performing blog posts. It's getting, not only is it driving all this organic traffic and getting the samples and getting them, in our funnel, it's getting them, we're getting them more into our funnel so they can opt into our email, get on our email list so that we can get them, push them more down the funnel. But also we can retarget them later. So retargeting, if you're not familiar, is we have extra code on our site for ads that basically you will see on other websites. So it's kind of follows you around, I guess. Um, and we could make it even specific to this blog post, which we have, but we stopped for a while and we might, I don't know, pick that up again. But like if they came to this blog post, we can follow up with them. And if they didn't, like, say, request a sample, for example, we can make the ads, they're called display ads or retargeting. It's basically, we're serving up retargeting content again to them. So say they leave this website, go to another website that has ad space on it, and on the right sidebar, you see some ads here for, hey, we could say, hey, something like, request a leather sample. Or you visited our site, we noticed you didn't request a sample. Maybe not that specific where it sounds like we're following them, but I mean, that's essentially what you're doing. And so that's a great way to get them back into your funnel if they haven't, they came to the blog and didn't do anything, but to get them engaged again and get them to follow through with an action. So that's the other opportunities outside of driving traffic is, getting them down the funnel. So, yeah, again, so I would suggest any idea you have, plug it into a tool like this. I really suggest Moz because it's great, and you can even do a 30-day free trial. If you put in your credit card, I mean, they don't charge it after 30 days. If you don't want to use it, whatever, don't use it. But if you find it valuable and you want to keep doing things like this, I definitely suggest checking it out. And again, like there's keywords that you can, go a little bit broader, find more traffic, find a little bit more targeted. But once you do this key research, you're just going to incorporate that, throughout. Make sure you include your target keyword. Let's say you decide after doing key research, okay, this is the one I want to target. Like what is PU leather? Make sure that you add that in the beginning somewhere, at least once, and then mention like synonymous variations throughout, and topically related. So, if somebody's typically talking about PU leather, what else are they also talking about? Are they talking about genuine leather, or are they comparing PU leather to bonded leather and genuine leather? And are they talking about the texture of the leather? Are they talking about how you clean the leather? Things like that. Make sure that you include, and you can even go to Google, which is another great source for research outside of that, is seeing like what is showing up for your target keyword. Go to google.com and type, like what is PU leather or whatever your search is or keyword is, and you can see what's showing up. So, and this is a great thing too, is that people also ask. So when people are asking like, what is PU leather? As you can see, here's our number one. They're also asking, is PU leather good? Is PU leather real? Is PU leather made from pig? So like this is all great stuff that you could include inside your blog posts, because this is what actually people are searching when they're searching for PU leather, and like topics related to it. And you can see also if there's like a featured snippet, which is, let's say, this right here, but it wasn't under the drop down. That's called a featured snippet. So the way to get those too, I've noticed, is they come up a lot for like question-based queries. So like, what is PU leather is a perfect example, except this isn't generating a featured snippet, but it'll look kind of just like this as the first result. And it'll give you like an intro. It's basically pulling this text from the blog post into the search results, and then it has a link under it. So that's great to have that featured content, basically, because that really draws people's eyes to it and gets them to click on it. And I've noticed that it comes up a lot for like question-based queries. And I was actually we actually have some for this blog post, and it's more of the like versus, like what's real versus bonded versus full leather. And the way I would say to structure is to kind of start with a question and make sure that your header tags, like these are H2 tags, they're called. Google looks at these to understand what the topic of the page is about. So making sure that you include these throughout. And it's just basically, it's, think of it like a header tag, and it's just breaking up the content into easily, so you can easily read. So if you're talking about another like subtopic, like what is top grain leather, make that an H2 tag. And then I have another one, what is bonded leather, make that an H2 tag. And that kind of, I've noticed, has helped me get featured snippets here in Google. So just something to think about. And also if you could include like, I don't think I did in this blog post, but like bulleted points, it just makes it easier to read. And I've noticed that they come up a lot too in featured snippets. So if you have any way to like convey information and like a bulleted list like easily, that kind of gets pulled a lot too into these results. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you to get some nice results like this. I mean, again, this is a fantastic blog post generating a ton of traffic to our site. I mean, over 70,000 visits in less than 2 years is amazing. And as you can see, it's going up for 2018. So I'm excited to see, if we make some tweaks to the content, or even if we just find like ways to improve it, if it'll go up even more. So, always be testing and always be like trying different things. Maybe even making, different testing calls to action here, like could test another button out for this or something to see if it performs even better. Take advantage of that traffic that you're already driving and see if you can get it to perform even better. So that's all I have for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My email is rachel@bite-sizedmedia.com, or leave a message and I'll get back to you. So yeah, have a good day and talk to you soon.